Hello everyone, welcome back. I wanted to read some portions of my new book, Intense Design, follow-up book from my last book on engineering. And I'm going to read chapter 19, the epilogue. Okay, so straight reading, relax, enjoy, maybe make something, eat something, enjoy your time here. Yeah, it's a bit different for me just to read, but I hope you enjoy this. So this is from chapter 19 again. Design is stressful. You don't have a clear path to success. Your stomach churns because your design seems to rely more on gut instinct and desperate assumptions than on things you can explain mathematically. Most painfully, you think you haven't found, quote, the great idea. You wonder what you haven't done correctly and what you have missed. When you explain your design, you say things like, I assume this and this looks right, kind of these vague words. Now, these words don't carry a lot of gravitas. On top of this angst is our ego. It follows us and taunts us. We want to say, this is my design, when in reality 99% is existing stuff that you rearranged. You want to develop a great design, but you realize your work is in response to someone else's insight into the need for your design in the first place. Your idea did not fall into a valley of the waiting desire, but was sculpted from rock laid before you by others. Now, if you're inventing, it can be a little different. Where you're coming up with the idea and not designing it. You actually create the whole thing, but that's another story. I have lost sleep and dealt with a lot of angst in the process of design. Personally, I battle with 1, worrying about missing the best design solution, and 2, subordinating my ego to the design. I want to believe there is some ideal design, and I want to keep the creative process going until I arrive at this ideal. The ideal design doesn't seem to be the case as I look at the man-made world around me. All designs are ephemeral, replaced in good time by designs more suitable for the day. I've had technically sophisticated designs get completely replaced by new technology. Amazing. Anyway, I've had embarrassingly simple designs that have lasted for decades, and that's something too. My oldest designs are simple. Basic forms and functions already exist in nature, from geometric forms and crystals to round trees rolling down hills. So all these basic forms are out there. The wheel is invented. Biomimicry is something we tap into because there's so much good stuff out there in nature. Designers more often than not are manipulating what already exists. However, we tend toward perfectionism and strive to create the perfect design. Because our identity is in design, we wish to separate ourselves from the amateurs, quote unquote, and dazzle the world with our ability. We can get some peace in knowing that our design is not the ending point, but one of the many points in a galaxy of evolving ideas. Is there a perfect poem or painting? If so, has it been read or observed, or does it live in an artist's mind, never to be degraded by actual execution on paper or canvas? So this is a big idea. So in professional design, you're trying to show by some inside knowledge that you've created the optimal design, whether it's some exquisitely complex mathematical solution or some beautiful artistic sketch. You're saying, I have these unique skills that brought forward this design. We're kind of desperate for that. So anyway, this leads into the problem with ego. Pride is a fundamental fight. We want our mark on the world because we believe we have something distinctive to contribute, and we do. We don't want to be someone who shovels coal all day with nothing to show for our labors but a pile of coal. We want to create. If you're listening to this, you're a creator. That's what you are. Otherwise, you wouldn't have listened this far along. We were meant to be creators. We identify ourselves as such and strive to execute this desire in our profession. Therefore, we want all our professional work to start with, let me show you my design. However, we work in a collaborative community with an intellectual ecology. So that's fancy language for we share common beliefs and we want to impress our professional peers. Whether across time, going back into history, or contemporaneously. We wonder if we are singular sensations like the Slinky and Salinger, or copious creators like King and Kandinsky. I hope you like the alliteration there. I worked on that. The challenge professional designers have is they are competing with the world. All humans are designers. Our body is a mechatronic system, and the people who own it are smart. They know how to design and make things. The special ability of designers is to be empathetic, persistent, and capable of actually delivering a product. Important. This last part involves hard work and technical knowledge. It is not the delightful front-end work of brainstorming and prototypes. So I won't go on and on about that, but basically humans are made up of linkages and this beautiful brain and neural network that makes it all work. So we understand that intuitively. And if you compete against that, it's tough because many people have wonderful common sense. So to distinguish yourself takes some unique insight and just hard work and confidence in saying, you know what, I can make this happen. And that's really a big differentiator. A lot of people feel they cannot make designs come into the market. Continue. Designers try to be both creative thinkers and diligent doers. We want to make our designs real. Often the actual execution of the design will leave us a little disappointed. Do you remember childhood projects that ended in ungainly montages of glue and wood? However, as a child, you would launch into projects, not worried about how they would look in the boardroom or gallery. This love for creation is a beautiful aspect of children's design process. They don't care about anything but creating. They don't have a contrived notion of perfection and a burden of reputation. I've had several projects that went from idea to product as a result of tireless testing and tweaking. There was no mathematical purity in these developments, just a lot of trial and error. But you need something to start with. We start with the concept development that flows from the brainstorming we all love. And just another aside too, I see that with my kids who grab or they were younger, who grab a bunch of crayons and just draw. They wouldn't think about composition. They wouldn't think about things. They would just draw. Or they would build things. Just grab some wood and start building stuff. And it's beautiful to watch and humbling for me as well. So sometimes you just have to build things, see what happens, make mistakes. Making mistakes, real important. You don't have a choice. Designers don't have to be an expert in one thing. We need to be familiar with many things so we can follow our contorted curiosity. We need to be willing to learn and take the difficult path. We need to observe and listen carefully. We need to blend the sublime with the scream and the whimsical with the wonderful. Another alliteration. Designers are heroic. When you design something, the knives come out. This is important. People are going to attack your design, especially if it's not some bizarre, elaborate space vehicle with, autonomous technology, etc. Anyway, the knives come out and they're going to ask you questions like this. They're going to ask you, what about this? What about that? And they'll say, this will never work. And then they'll say, is this all you've got? And then they will say, anyone could have designed this. And then someone's going to say, I saw a design just like that 5 years ago. You're going to get all these statements. You have to deal with the skeptics, pessimists, and egos. You have to be the champion of something that doesn't exist, something that is not fully developed, and something that has a lot of competition in the marketplace of ideas. Our designs aren't perfect. They are always missing something, and they always carry too much of our ego. We want our designs to be great. However, greatness is bestowed by culture. Moreover, greatness is not the matter that motivates our life. The Mona Lisa is a great painting, but how is that helping you now? The Art Deco passenger Normandy was a beautiful design that burned at the docks, and that was a fascinating ship if you want to look at examples of innovation even in something like ships. But did its design matter? Have you read Joyce or Faulkner this year? I have not. How has this affected you? Does a lioness care about the process of hunting, or simply that she has a meal in the end? So the point is there's great art and culture out there, and society recognizes it as such, but it doesn't affect you day to day. So we have to be careful about the whole notion of greatness. Would you rather have a fork in your house, or would you rather have the Mona Lisa? Okay, you'd sell the Mona Lisa and buy a lot of forks, I realize that, but which one do you really need? Self-expression, and that's not in the book, just some more annotation. Self-expression is not the world of professional design. Professional design is a world of commercial interests, concerns for people not like you, and continual compromises. Self-expression is a domain of the arts. I find my refuge in poetry and painting. I've written hundreds of poems and produced dozens of paintings that are largely unpublished and unsold. But these allow my voice to sing. Goethe opined that every day we should hear at least one little song, read one good poem, see one exquisite picture, and if possible, speak a few sensible words. I encourage you to write a poem and produce art. These activities provide a deep breath of fresh air and enticing freedom from the constraints of professional design. Then get back to work. So professional design has money behind it. It's not self-expression. We are humbled with our design work. It may never be great. It won't be perfect, but we try. However, do you make the world better around us, or do you show off your talent? If we show only our talent, we can't express our heart. Design is a beautiful expression of human abilities. It should draw optimism and hope from us. We must actively look for what is good in design and shake off pessimism and skepticism. In the end, we can look at greatness and appreciate it, but never arrive at it. And so we are graciously humbled, design wonderful things, and see how creating conjoins us to that which has immense satisfaction and peace. And it ends with a poem, which I won't read here. Thank you.